Welcome back, friends. Today we're at Greencastle, Pennsylvania at Mason Dixon Barbecue, and we're here for the whole hog barbecue boot camp. And we're going to be here all night. But I want to introduce a special guest and a wonderful person who I've admired through the 3 years that I've been coming to the boot camps. This is Roger Martin, and Roger was the owner of
Penn Avenue Meats.
Penn Avenue Meats.
We opened our store in 1984, so
1984.
that's a little history going on there.
Wow.
My son has it now. He's 48 years old, and he's continuing it as it was and adding new things all the time. So as the industry changes, he's trying to have that andouille sausage and that smoked this or that. He's making about 12 different kinds of beef jerky at his store now, and so on. So my job at Mason Dixon Barbecue is to be the meat knowledge, the actual raw meat knowledge, and I'm not a smoker that does competitions or anything like that, but I can answer just about any question what you would have from your pig, your cow, or your hog, and so we do all the different varieties. Anyways, the Boston butt comes from when you get the whole pig out. Will you show them on the pig?
I will show them on the pig.
It's where the front leg fastens onto the shoulder, right here, and the shoulder blade that you feel is that particular bone that's in the center. This bone right here, and that is, we call that a 7 bone in the industry. This is also the chuck. This is a cow. This will be the front shoulder chuck section. The picnic, you know what that picnic is, goes from there out to the leg. And if you ever saw, I don't know who would sell it like this anymore, but when the hogs were smaller, they would sell long cut, they called it. And that was a butt and a picnic, both fastened together.
Well, what's been great about working with Roger over the years is he's taught us so much about the cuts of meat, where those cuts of meat come from, on different parts of the animal, and some important tidbits on how to prepare that meat for our barbecues. Tell us a little bit about what we were talking about tonight earlier. I have some video that we shot earlier. You were trimming up a pork shoulder.
Pork shoulder, the Boston butt of the pork shoulder. There is a long cut, which means it's the shoulder and the front leg, which would be a long cut. That second part is actually called a picnic, often smoked and used as seasoning. But the Boston butt is a prize piece for your pulled pork.
Okay, so you want the top part. Does anybody know why it's called a butt? No?
The barrel.
Right, it's the barrel. Right, go ahead, tell them. Tell them, Gene.
That's all I know.
They were shipping barrels.
Go ahead.
Shipping barrels, and they used to put the pork butts in there and put salt to keep them preserved.
You got it.
And
Create their own brine.
They called it the butt.
Yes, they call them butts.
Because
That's how they're short.
we didn't really have refrigeration. We had ice only. We had wooden barrels. So you can imagine, matter of fact, I don't know if you've ever been, if you're into country hams or not, but country cured hams are done that same way. And the salt has saltpeter and other seasonings in with it. But they will lay in a cooler, they will lay out fresh hams with the rind and everything still on. They'll lay them out on the skids and salt them, and then layer another meat, salt, and so on. And then at about day number 4 or 5, they will take that salt all off of them and give it to the roads department. That's what they told me. Give it to the roads department, and they'll flip in the other direction, salt, pork, like that, and layer it up. And then when they are cured, and I think that's 45 days.
Excuse me.
At least 45 days. Felt's hams out of Ivor, Virginia, always bragged on 60 to 90 day cured hams. So what that amounts to is it's shrinking, it's losing weight, and it's looking more like prosciutto. As a matter of fact, a lot of joiner hams are being sent overseas and sold as prosciutto.
Is that right?
That's crazy, isn't that crazy? Well, anyway, so I'm going to take this I'm going to show you how we trim at our store. We like fat to be left on. This is a little excessive. Yours probably will not have that. And we take, this is where the spine is on the front of the shoulder, here in the chest. This is, and that often has bone strips on. This is the money muscle. Okay, you see how it's unique. I'm taking it off very light. We would take it off heavier than that.
Oh, really?
In our store because
You would take the money muscle off?
we make sausage with this.
Oh!
We make really good sausage with this. So I'm going to take this Boston butt, and this is much the way we would have it trimmed at our store. I'm going to take the shoulder 7 bone out of it, and I'll show you how it fastens to the picnic part. This, by the way, will literally fall out of your Boston butt when it's roasted. When it's done, this bone will literally come out of your Boston butt. It's in the shape of a 7. I'm doing something you shouldn't do. Don't ever cut toward yourself. Always cut away. And the reason why this bone is made like it is, like in the sirloin steak, there's a pin bone. And guess what it looks like? You know, it's like a pin. I'm taking this out because I want to show you how to tie.
Now, we are not going to be doing that.
You're not going to do this either.
Oh, what are you doing?
This falls right out.
Yeah, he's cutting the bone out, right?
Yeah. And this falls right out when you go to pull it. This bone will fall out clean.
And that's one of the ways we know that it's done properly, is when it comes out clean.
That is
fries
your
in
test.
7 to 10 seconds.
Yes, that is your test.
Now, one of the things that we found out, one of the reasons we stopped doing this, because we used to, I don't know if Roger remembers this back in the day, because he's old now. So, anyway, but he wasn't retired then. But anyhow, we used to have you guys, if you wish to, okay, debone the pork butt. But what we found was that a pork butt would take an additional hour and a half to cook
If you
took
debone
the
it.
bone out of it. All right, so while everybody else was done, okay, the poor people that went ahead and they deboned their pork butt,
Did all the
sitting
work.
around waiting. Trust me, tomorrow morning at 8:30, you do not want to wait for everybody else, okay? You guys have lost your patience at that point, as much as we try and get you to have patience. All right, so the only reason to debone a pork butt is because, number one, you can get a lot more seasoning inside your pork butt, inside that flat. All right, you've already gone into it. You're gonna get a lot more seasoning in through there. It's gonna work out fine because you're not in a hurry. That's the other thing to pork steaks. Okay,
Yes.
where they can actually take a pork butt. Have any of you guys ever done that? You can go to a good butcher, Penn Avenue Meats. Okay, they've done it for us before, and they'll put it on a meat saw, and they'll literally just cut that pork butt into steaks. Okay, and then you have big pork steaks. Okay,
just
you
gonna
can take the bone out. You know, if you want to do it that way, and you have boneless pork steaks.
I'm going to take the face of it off.
But it works out really well.
From where it's at now. I'm going to show you a continuous tie yet.
All right, so we used to also have you guys do this knot. All right, if anybody
Very
here could
fun.
do the knot, you will win a prize. Okay, and that does not include, where's Gene if he's videotaping it? Oh, hey, no, no videotaping.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it doesn't, you lost your prize automatically. Okay, but, all right, if you guys can do this, all right, and you can practice on your roll of paper towels and we'll have the string up here, I'll give you a prize, worthwhile to have. All right, if you guys go ahead and figure out how to do it.
Actually, a couple things happen when you tie. We all like prime rib tie, Delmonico roll, that sort of thing, and it gives it the same shape all the way across, right? It holds together as opposed to falling apart, opening while you're cooking and so on. I'm going to tie this direction instead of making this longer and longer. It also shapes the meat. Maybe I should show that. So, taking the string underneath, bringing it across both fingers, turning and pulling the rope between. You don't want to do it without it. So it's almost like a fish knot, like you would tie when you're fishing. It's almost like an improved cinch. Across, grab it, pull it in between, and then it locks. That's the butcher knot. You're not trying to cut the meat in half or anything like that. And if you only want to tie one knot at that end, you can do a technique 97.
Technique 97.
Which is, I didn't tell you that before, did I? Which means you'll roll twice in your hand, take it over the end you just did. This looks like a Jewish style salami. index and my middle finger. That way it will latch. You can't hear that, can you? Well, when I left my house, I told my wife I wasn't worried about the meat cutting part. I was worried about the storytelling part, or the jokes. And which is a wrong-headed, you know that. So I heard this joke. This man who worked at the factory drove past a neighboring farmer, found out his neighboring farmer was actually a classmate of his, and someday I should stop in and see him. Well, one day he went past the farm, and there was a pig out front, and it had one hind leg missing. And he thought, that's it. I got to stop. On the way home from work, I'm stopping. So he stopped in. Joe, you know who I am? I remember you from school and all that. And he said, I got to know, I just got to know what happened to the hog that he's removed the rear leg from this hog. Oh, he said, that's a long story. He said, well, a couple of months ago, our house caught on fire, and that pig made such a ruckus about our house being on fire, he woke us up in the middle of the night and saved our lives. Yeah. He goes, then another time I was walking along the highway there, and a truck was going to hit me, and that pig broke out of his pen, pushed me off the highway just in time to not get hit. Well, he said, yes, but he says, what about the pig with the hand missing? He said, if you had a hog that good, you wouldn't want to kill him all at one time. Farmer joke. So, any questions for us?
We're just cutting the face off on one end.
They're gonna take a money muscle off. They're gonna
Money
show
muscle.
you that. They're gonna take the money muscle off, and the money muscle isn't for you. The money muscle is for the judges. So you're going to get a good rating when you cut that and show that in your plate, and they see it and taste it. It's very, very tender and nice and sweet. It's probably the sweetest meat on the pig anywhere. Next to cheap meat. Cheap meat is more tender than that. But we don't talk about that. Anyway. So that ends it. Okay? So this is the shoulder. This is the chuck of the pig, and he's going to show you where that's at on the real pig when he has it out here. You won't be able to tell without looking at the whole hog where it's at. Yeah.
Okay, well, my cooler's right over here.
That
I'm
right
just
here.
saying.
Just put it right in, or is that what you
Yeah.
want? So I imagine he's going to come over and show you how he's looking for the money muscle.
What's the benefit of tying it up like that when you cook it?
Tonight's whole hog, he's going to insert Boston butts, and he's going to stretch the amount of meat that's in the barbecue, and it'll be inside the cavity of the pig, so it's helping to keep the consistent temperature and give you all that extra meat at the end of the day.
Now, let me see if I got this right. He's going to cook butts, Boston butts, inside the cavity of the pig.
He is.
Wow. I've done whole hogs before, but I've never done one quite like that.
Well, when you cater, or when your wife invites too many people, okay, the other scenario, she goes, there's 24 of us, and you're going, this 35-pound pig, and you're not going to have 35 people worth of meat. So you're going to do Boston butts, and you're going to pull it right from out of the cavity and extend your meal. And it still will present as a whole hog. Everything's right. Everything's good.
And you get that ambiance. You can put the apple in the mouth and get those photographs and gross out the squeamish ones in the crowd.
Well, you'll see. What's interesting to me, a little bit interesting, is the kind of pig that you're going to roast overnight tonight is actually a kneeling pig. It is actually going to be on its front legs, kneeling position like that. So the face is going to be up the right direction. So I'll stick the apple in there. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be really cool. Well, I don't know if you know this, but I was born and raised in Louisiana, and I grew up eating andouille sausage.
Oh.
And so I'm going to have to meet your son.
Yes.
Because I am a known cook for gumbo, chicken and sausage gumbo.
Sir.
So I'm definitely going to have to stop by and pick up some of his andouille sausage so that my next batch of chicken and sausage.
That's right. Now you're going to need to ask him for smoked andouille sausage as opposed to fresh.
Right.
So you need that smoke on there for the skin to get popped and for it to have that smoky taste. Also, if you ever do a crab boil, you do that from
we
Louisiana.
do crab boils.
Well,
here we steam them in Maryland.
Oh yeah, but down there you won't put the ear corn in there, and the crab meat, and the shrimp, and of course all the veggies that goes in with that, and the Old Bay seasoning. You're used to J.O.
We're used to, well, I live close to J.O., but that's a different story.
I should have asked.
No, we grew up with Zatarans.
Zatarans,
and of course Tony Cheshires.
Yes.
You know, I know members of those families from growing up there, and you know, those were the spices that we used.
Well, doesn't Tony have a blackened rub for steaks?
He has everything.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think that's what I'm familiar with.
Yeah, they have everything, but he also have the crab boils and the shrimp boils and the various different Cajun seasonings.
Yes.
In fact, you know, you see a lot of Tony's in, you know, the big box stores like the Walmarts and the Sam's Clubs and those places where you can just buy in bulk. But, you know, it's pretty popular for, you know, Cajun cooks.
There's a new favorite place of mine in Myrtle Beach that does crab boils, shrimp boils, with the sweet corn and so on in there. And I just found it, and we had to go back there 3 times in 1 week. So.
Well, the thing we always love is the little new potatoes.
That's what he does.
You got to have the new potatoes,
Yes.
and oddly enough, those mushrooms really absorb all those
other
flavors.
Yes.
But we also, in addition to, you know, we used to go crabbing and the Louisiana blue crabs, and we'd also go crawfish, gathering crawfish, which is kind of an interesting twist on all of that.
It thinks it's a big shrimp, but it's not. It's like we have some sound effects going on.
We got a little bit of
Causes
sound
siren.
effects going by, but
The boot camp ambiance.
The boot camp ambiance. Well, man, this is just awesome. Thank you
Nice to
so
meet you
much
guys.
for being here.
Sure.
I appreciate you being here, teaching us. Are you going to be back for the ribs and chicken next year, maybe?
Yes, and for the brisket.
And for the brisket. Well, we're going to have to catch you in those.
Yeah, I think the only one I'm not at is the turkey.
Turkey and tailgates.
The only thing they do with the turkey and tailgates is cut the spatchcock out of the backbone. And that's
Well,
it.
they did remove the wishbone, which
Oh, they
was
did.
something that I've never done, but I thought
it's
was kind of
important.
it's kind of important when you're trying to spatchcock
Yes,
one
it
or do
is.
those.
Yes, it is.
And it really makes it nice when you're going in and doing the deboning the breast, pulling the breast off, so that really helped there.
Yes.
Now,
At our store, I also do turduckens, at least when I worked there, and I would do the deboned duck or breast of duck, the roasting chicken, the andouille sausage or hot sausage in the middle, and then we would just get this all tied for you to do it boneless.
Oh,
The
wow.
only thing that's got a bone in is the wing and the drumsticks.
Roger,
He wants to
thank
talk
you
about
very
it.
much. Eric's
Thank you.
calling us.
He is. Better
Say,
get it.
everybody, if you're over in Hagerstown, Maryland, go to Penn Avenue Meats.
Please do.
Please do. Please
My
go
son
to
will be
Penn
glad to
Avenue
see
Meats.
you.
Get it cut custom for you.
There you are.
Thank you, Roger.
Thanks, guys.
We hope you enjoyed our video today from BBQ Boot Camp 2023 Whole Hog. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.